Welcome back to another edition of On a Roll. I'm your host, Kerwin Brown, and today we're with Jeremy Shaw. He is the industry team leader at Intralox. And welcome, Jeremy. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kerwin.
Yeah, we're enjoying some beautiful weather, and we're going to get into this in a little bit. But at first, we're going to start with some this or that. Okay. So you tell me which one's your favorite. So pie or cake?
Pie.
Okay. Any favorites of the pies?
I would say pecan pie.
Okay.
Thanksgiving time around there.
Yeah.
You know?
So my mom makes a mean pecan pie.
Okay.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Okay. French fries or tater tots?
French fries.
Okay. You spent a little time in New Orleans area, so you go into New Orleans. What's the best thing you can eat there? You want to go to this one place?
Seafood.
Seafood.
Seafood, you can't mess up with the seafood there.
And just any kind of seafood?
You know, seafood is, they've got obviously your fried portions of it, but they've got a lot of great, really rich seasonings and sauces and everything there. So it's really hard to go wrong with a lot of the seafood that they have in the New Orleans area.
Yeah, anytime I'm there, I'm only eating things that come out of the
Right,
of the
fresh
water.
Gulf right there.
Fresh Gulf,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. Any favorite baked goods?
I'm not a huge baked good guy. Bread, I'll say bread.
Just overall bread.
Yeah,
Maybe
bread.
some toast or some butter or something.
Yeah.
Okay, guilty pleasure on the food side. Like, man, I just got to have, don't worry about the calories, don't worry about being fit, just...
Creme brulee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just go with the creme brulee.
Creme brulee is generally that's on the menu at dinner. It's hard to pass that up.
It's going to be hard to pass that up. So, talk a little bit about path of baking. I like to talk about that, kind of how you got here. You're a New Orleans kid, grew up there. Of course, Intralox is a big company there, but you didn't have as most of us, you didn't have a very straight path to baking Intralox. So talk a little bit about kind of how you got here.
So, purely coincidental. I actually went to school. I was going to be a computer programmer. That was my path, and finished school and ended up getting a job doing computer programming, software testing, some web design, and really quickly, probably in about less than a year, I realized that was definitely not the right path for me, and it was going to be a long road of work for the next however many years if I was going to stay in that. So ultimately kind of moved into interesting commercial type of role, and Intralox being a local company in New Orleans, I'd actually interviewed with them for an IT position prior to that and knew a little bit about them, and they had a position with their commercial team for again very junior position, let's say, that I was able to kind of woo the hiring manager at the time, let's say, and convince him that I might be a good fit. And so yeah, I've been started off and worked actually for our bakery team at the time in an inside sales role for about a year, and then I kind of moved outside of that and was really working as a product specialist. Started supporting some other industries, fruit and vegetable, really did a lot in the potato world, the meat and poultry segment there, and came back to baking really as in a full-time position around 2008.
Okay.
And been there ever since then.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely a switch from being on a computer and programming all day to a heavy sales role. I mean, you're out with customers and leading a team and all that. What's it like? Now you've had some experience in and out of bakery. What's it like, the baking industry? I mean, do you have some feel for, that versus potato or something like that?
So, I mean, I think bakery by far is the tightest knit industry that I've ever had any affiliation with at all. It's, I think the relationships here, the fact you hear from other industries when they say, or people who come into this industry or maybe come to an event like this for the first time, they're in amazement that you can have so many people that are working with each other, competing against each other. They're all throughout the industry that really have this tight of a relationship and these networking opportunities that I think this industry brings together. So very different, from the other industries. A lot of the other industries don't have the same I think, strong associations that really help to bring the industry together as well, both from the customer side as well as the supplier side. So it's extremely unique from that perspective.
You spent some time on the global side, so sometimes I like to, I like to hear kind of about that global role a little bit, but also you probably had some interesting travel experiences or eating experiences or whatever. So tell us, give us maybe a funny or challenging story at some point. So
yeah, I think, look, we've all had our trials and tribulations when it comes to traveling. That's the interesting part of the job. But I think one time I had a flight to Europe, and this was a pretty heavily kind of intense week with several different customer visits where we were going to different countries. So my luggage did not make it to, I started out in Amsterdam, but didn't make it there. But by the time it was going to arrive, I was already flying to the next destination. But the problem was that next destination was I wasn't staying in that city. I was then getting in a car, driving an hour and a half away somewhere, and then there for another day, going somewhere else after that. So essentially my luggage wasn't going to be able to catch up with me no matter what. So I spent about a week in Europe with the clothes that I had brought and the care package that you get from the airlines and not much else. So it was rough. We managed to kind of make it through it, but it's one of the joys of travel, let's say.
Exactly. It'd been funny if it was pictures throughout the week. You're like, Jeremy's wearing the same outfit with those customers and those customers and those customers.
Right, and of course, you're typically dressed maybe a little bit differently than you are in North America when you go to these customer visits. So it's like this is the the hobo from the U.S. coming in to visit us right there. So.
Yeah, that doesn't really that's not that great. So. Intralox has a super passion on sanitation and on innovation. So talk a little bit about kind of where y'all's heart is on sort of sanitation and innovation. Yeah. And I don't know where that came from. Or what.
So, Intralox was founded by an invention originally. And so a lot of people who, have heard this story before, but, in a nutshell, Intralox started off by the founder of the company invented an automated shrimp peeling machine, and he was trying to sell this. He worked on the seafood docks down in southern Louisiana with his dad, and ultimately kind of came up with this idea and was trying to sell this shrimp peeling device to these different shrimp manufacturers down in southern Louisiana, and saw a lot of the conveyance there was, either just heavy industrial style belting, very difficult to work with, very difficult to clean. So came up with the idea of a modular plastic belt, and that came up with one single belt, and that was originally what started the company. And really the foundation of what we do is based on continuous innovation. So if you're not innovating, you're falling behind. So how do you make sure that we're continuing to provide solutions, provide those different levels of services to align with our customers' needs? And kind of moving into the sanitation space, as we've grown as a company, Intralox is really a full conveyance solutions provider. And as we look and understand, the dynamic of the market today, there's so much need for, you see a lot more on the hygienic design, sanitation, essentials, things along that. So Intralox acquired a company, Commercial Food Sanitation, that focused on training and design courses and things along that nature. And it was really just a complement to the overall business that we have. And again, if you look at all the industries, I mean, baking is a great example of that. 15 years ago, that might have not been at the forefront of a lot of discussions, right? The hygienic design, the thought was the product is going through a bake process, a kill step process, so you don't necessarily need to have the same level of hygiene and sanitation standards that you see in other industries. That's all really started to change. So again, I think it really falls with kind of where the industry, where the market is, and again, aligning with our customers' needs. And again, same thing on the innovation side as well.
Yeah, you go into new plants now, and it's just such a whirlwind of difference from,
it's very different.
You said, 15, 20 years ago.
Yep.
I know you're a fit guy, you like fit stuff, and so I picked up some of these energy things. We're filming this in California, so that kind of goes along with the California-ish. So we're going to try these and just see what, I don't know if you've had these little guys before.
No, it's first time. We're going to go with the green first.
Yeah, we'll go green first.
Okay.
Let yourself shine, it says, so we're probably going to shine after this. So here we go. Cheers. Cheers. What do you think?
Tangy.
Yeah, it's kind of tangy.
I
think that was
need this after
super shot detox. So you're probably going to feel a lot better after that. And then we're going to try this one. This is red. This is immune systems. We've been going it pretty hard, conference, mornings,
Yeah.
nights, or whatever. So probably need
A long week. Yeah.
little immune systems.
Really tangy.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That kind of bumped up the tanginess. Wow. But do you feel better already?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I feel confident now. I'm not going to get sick in the rest of the trip.
The whole
ride home.
Yeah, the whole rest of the trip. I also kind of like to talk about, you lead a team, and just sort of the leadership thing or the mentorship thing. I love kind of hearing what people think about that, and kind of the legacy as well, but
Sure.
just sort of the leadership and legacy part. It's so important, I think, in our industry. We need to get the next generation in here, and we need to train some people up and
Sure.
encourage people to get in our industry. So tell me a little bit of kind of what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had a lot of great mentors and people that I've worked closely with over, both within Intralox, people that aren't necessarily affiliated with the baking industry, but also people within the baking industry. And, I've always tried to kind of embrace things and take things from that leadership style and incorporate that. And I think, when I look at where I think we can make a big difference is really kind of, like you said, kind of mentoring. And when I think, again, through my career, who were the people that really had a big impact on me and were able to, help show me the ropes and things.
Right.
And I think that is important. And again, that's kind of when I look at, I guess, my legacy. That's, hey, how have I been able to be that mentor, be able to be, I want people to look back and say, hey, Jeremy Shaw was instrumental in the success within, whether it be the industry or my role or whatever
Right.
that may be.
You talked about being introspective, and so, like, how do you do that? You said that's really a part of your growth or whatever, is really kind of looking
Right.
inside a little bit. So,
Yep.
kind of tell me maybe just a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and I think, if to me, introspectiveness is one of the most important aspects or qualities, I think, to really be able to understand where you can grow, understand where
Right.
you have opportunities, and then to be able to really kind of focus on that. And, if you're not introspective, it's going to be very difficult to do that, right? So, to me, I've kind of share that with others, that I think if you do have that level of introspectiveness, it's really, you're assessing yourself. You're assessing
Right.
where those opportunities are to further grow, and then to continue to refine those areas and to look at ways that you can improve. So I think it's a fundamental.
Yeah, essential, fundamental part of just growing and stuff. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with us, and I'm glad that I could. Oh, you drink all yours. I did. I was.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Got to make sure that
You didn't mess around.
Oh.
So I'll finish mine here in a minute. So thanks for Jeremy for being with us and hanging out with us for a little bit, and we'll see you next time on a Roll.
Thanks for having me.